Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is White Note and I proudly present Global Gamers launched. Quality of our content is higher than Donald Trump wall. Today's video is all about WCS 2016 Quarterfinal, TY vs Byun.
Are loaded in to Frozen Temple to kick off our third quarterfinal between TY and Byun. Regenerate their health, but those Hellions and the grenades from the Reapers have the potential to do cataclysmic damage. Byun is going to make his first poke up this ramp.
Good positioning there by TY. A crazy amount of SCVs, and I want to see this series go to distance. I want to see the games be close.
Yeah, I like this. TY not aware of the units coming in towards the right side now. No SCV's been pushed down here, but if there's nothing at this main ramp and there's nothing there, he should be able to get in, maybe trade these out for a few workers. We're reaching the point in the game where you don't rely on these units as much as before, so he's just going to trade these out, takes out a Hellion and a few of these SCVs, and also gets scouting information at the same time. Yeah. As you said, those Reapers have the ability to bypass the terrain. They're going to jump straight into the main base. Byun loads up a medevac to go across the map, and he's going to try to bring the counter pressure immediately after this. So SCVs already taking damage, none killed just yet, but quite a few are very weak.
Yeah, this is painful though for Byun because all of his units are in that medevac, and of course the push on the other side of the map has a lot of potential, but he's losing quite a few SCVs here. The Marines are doing a decent job. TY tried to snipe the medevac. That would have been massive. If Byun gets on top of the production, this could get very ugly very quick for TY.
Yeah, I mean, SCVs might even need to be pulled to help pull this back. We have the Cyclone. The tank is out. He's focusing down the siege tank of TY. He needs to keep this safe. Cyclone locks onto the medevac. He's going to cut up the escape path. He barely gets outside of the range. Look, a great pickoff, though, and Byun will lose all of his forces inside of TY's base. Going to come down to these big tank drops. TY wants to push up by this third, however.
He might be able to get some work done. That tank is quite exposed. Vikings were a little bit late to the party for Byun. Losing that tank hurts. This CC is in a little bit of trouble. Once again, it was built on location. Cyclone is misrallied, Nate.
Yep, he just kind of walks straight through, eating the shots. And we talk about this base being exposed. With no SCV here, this should be an easy cancel now for TY onto Byun's third. A phenomenal stop. Pick up the tank and fly away. He's done all the damage he needs to do and get his upgrades. That's the one thing that we don't see on TY's side of the field is those engineering bays. Both of them have been pumping for a good little while now for Byun. He should have a small edge moving forward.
He'll have a small Viking lead. At least he had it for a while. But needless to say, TY is catching up, especially because he's been mining of that third base too.
Yeah, it's very close, but this is exactly what I was talking about. He wants to get this position where he can use his tech units to get an edge and leverage some positioning here. And he does actually pick off enough Vikings to maintain that air control. He's going to inch his tanks forward with the medevac so that he can try to pick off TY's.
Wow. Yeah, sick micro, I think, by Byun. He really picks up most of the Vikings. The biggest problem is he just doesn't have enough units on the ground, so TY will be able to push this back.
He's landing his third base out now, and he's pushing again with these medevacs, with these siege tanks, and the Vikings through the center.
So aggressive. Army's actually colliding. Well, one of the medevacs taking a lot of damage. It will survive, though. Once again, TY being a little bit reckless with his Vikings. They will die. Not before at least picking off 2 Vikings, so it was something, but still, TY bleeding out a couple of these expensive units.
Yeah, and he drops the tanks, trying to get a position on the third base, but eats one of the shots from TY very quickly. Meanwhile, TY's medevac about to break into the main base, so he has to control both of these situations at the same time. Marines are about to come right out of those barracks, though, so the drop is going to land in the main. The siege tanks have pressured the SCVs off of TY's third, and TY's actually moving a large force of his army straight down the middle as the siege tank comes out for Byun to push these Marines back.
Yep, nice timing as well with Stim finishing up, of course. At the same time, Byun doing some damage on the other side of the map, where, you know, pushing via the south side. However, this is an army you've got to respect. The tank count is still in favor of TY by quite a bit, actually. It's 6 against 3 siege tanks. Nate, this could get very ugly.
Yeah, and that tank was inside of the main base trying to deal with the drop the whole time. There's no siege tank by the third base position for Byun, and that means TY is all over it. Once again, the Marines stimmed up with the 1-1 coming. He's just going to pull all of his SCVs and hit him from both sides, dropping the tanks that he had out on the map, though. He swallows TY's army whole.
Wow, that's actually a phenomenal hold by Byun. Cleans it up, losing 5 SCVs in the process. Much having to attack into your opponent's siege tanks is normally a nightmare scenario. Barely misses a drop, but that was very beautiful, the way that Byun defended that.
Yeah, TVT all about this drop harassing. A lot of tanks being used very aggressively by Byun on this position. He'd love to shut down that fourth base. Vikings grab the drop of TY in the top side of the map while the tanks reposition to the south side of that third, but doesn't have vision of the siege tank, so eats a few more shots. He has Marines here, but I don't know if he can break this position just yet.
I really feel that Byun has barely made any mistakes when it comes to micro so far. He was a little bit out of position when when he lost that CC, but when it comes to the micro department, he's been flawless, Nate.
So good. He had these Marines there to just eat a couple of these shots while he moved down, denying the gas in the third base. Like, okay, I'll go straight into your main. There's no Vikings here. I can fly around as much as I want. And now he's going to get even more of these SCVs. And if he waits too long, he could even try to get some of these add-ons. So the counter drop from TY dropping straight on top of the siege tanks inside of his own base to try and push him.
It's his game to lose again.
The tank count is close enough, and 2 medevacs exposed. Well, that's a great way to throw away a lead cap. Those 2 tanks very exposed. He's just going to drop right on top of the ramp, right next to the sensor tower. He will clean that up, and he could try to just force a wedge between the natural and the third base, but this is a scenario where if you are Byun, you really want to just fight with Marines versus Marines in even numbers, but he's using the siege tanks, and these engineering bases are exposed. Talk about a lead. He can't catch up if he kills those.
If one of those E-bays died, that would be disastrous for TY, and he knows it as well, so he's going to try to clean this up, and he will. He just has a little bit more. Byun in a lot of trouble, but at the same time, he's killing the 4th base of TY. This man is everywhere at once. Yes, he lost a couple of units, but that's still something he will sign for any given day.
And now the army for Byun is just going to sprint across the map. He's like, okay, well, you want to kill my 4th? That's fine. I'm going to get on top of your production, but TY has 4 siege tanks left by this base. Cyclone gets a little bit of clipping against those medevacs. The 3rd is going to be pushed back. Oh, those Marines for Byun, quite a few of them just walking straight forward into these tanks. I don't know if he's going to be able to get this expansion.
And there are units everywhere for TY right now. He's working on his planetary fortress, actually loses a handful of Marines before he's going to be able to take it down. Don't forget about the left force. What is that force doing from TY? It's just kind of chilling
just
there.
A lot of hurt Marines. But the 4th base and the 3rd have both been routed of TY. Whoa. Meanwhile, Byun's still trying to hold on to his 4th. He gets a lot of great tank shells. And the thing is, even if he loses that 4th, he still has that base up against TY.
Yeah, I think it's important that Byun starts using all these units on the south side of the map. Yes, they're securing those locations, but that's a lot of supply. You don't want to lose a big fight. He tries to get on top of the production, and that would be massive.
Yeah, this is so important. There are no siege tanks in production right now for TY. He's supply blocked from all the bases he's lost, which means if he can't build units, if these barracks get destroyed, he has no way to recover after losing army units in a fight.
16 siege tanks right now for Byun against the 10 of TY. That's a pretty big deal, especially if these factories are going to be under fire as well. More tank drops happening at once. Nate, he's everywhere.
He's behind the mineral line, and TY is, I mean, it looks like he's panicking. He's not sure where he's going to go with his army. He's trying to spread out, but he's going to be walking into a concave of Byun. So many Marines spread out trying to break out, but the tanks on the southwest flank are going to make advancing so difficult. The biggest thing here, Kev, is that Byun does not need to push into this base. He's already taken the expansion out. GG! Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a great BlizzCon so far as we continue this epic best of 5 on that beautiful stage. Volatiles, because if you try to rush up to any early tech to deal with that, sometimes you could just be killed beforehand. And we see these Marines extremely vulnerable. They don't regenerate. Picks off the Hellion, though, and trades out his own Reaper. The defensive Cyclone as a follow-up to this opening is amazing because not only does it have that lock on these units, but that's a really good pickoff, too.
And a matter of fact, there is so much micro potential and push like that. Another Marine will get picked off.
Loses the high ground vision, though, so the Cyclone's lock-on is broken, saving the Reaper's life. And we now see that first push coming across the map for Byun, very similar to how he played the last game. Of course, this is King Sejong Station, though, so sieging that natural is going to be a very important moment here since the Cyclone and the Viking have a lot of potential to shut this down.
I'm a little bit worried, though, because the Cyclone is out of position. Nate, a couple of Marines are out of position as well for TY, and there is a tank almost done, but that tank is not done just yet.
Yeah, Marines
TY could be in a lot of trouble.
Blasted by that siege tank, and now Byun encroaching on the natural. He's going to drop his tank, shooting down as TY was still sieging his tank. Moves the Marines. He's barely going to be able to pick it off, exposing the natural expansion. Medevac is killed, though. Cyclone is defeated, and the Vikings are going to land to stop this push. TY, crisis management. Well, crisis averted.
From Byun would make their way across the map. That evens up, you know, because of the quicker rally points, because of the quicker reinforcements. So you can see here an income advantage. That was probably the moment where he pulled the SCVs to defend. Yeah. But after that, it's been very solid for TY.
These Vikings hunting.
Get a hit.
He wants to basically just catch TY's Vikings off guard and just focus them down one by one, whereas TY, if he doesn't micro, may not actually be able to kill him, but they're both kind of moving out at the same time.
He's stacking them up as well. It's like he knows he's going to try to get a full volley off, and if he gets the first volley off...
he's going to find the medevacs, and the Cyclone actually finds him as well. If he gets this force and he kills these medevacs, he could even just try to land his Vikings to get the siege tanks, but the Vikings do come back for TY.
Yeah, and actually in a better position, of a Marine helping out as well. One of the Vikings was separated from the pack, so this is not going to go as good for Byun as it perhaps could have gone.
That
good
had
job
the potential.
there.
That had the potential, Kev, to be a slam dunk play. Two tankovacs flying towards the west side of the natural expansion. He's looking, he's like, is there any units to kill? And at this point, he's going to be concerned because like, where are your units? Well, they're in these two medevacs that you don't see to the northwest.
Yeah, it's a crazy counter actually, because he knows that the forces from TY are over here and he has to worry about it. I love how even this game is, by the way, Nate. Dead even army supply, dead even in upgrades. We're 8-9 minutes into the game with different openings. Anyway, units are out of position now for TY.
The drop lands in the natural. Marines are going to stim as that tank sieges up. There are 3 tanks here for TY. He needs to hold on. 9 SCVs already picked off as these tanks drop to push Byun away. One interesting thing as these units try to push up towards this cliff and get routed is actually just noticing combat shields is finishing for Byun. TY has not got his combat shield, so siege tanks, they're going to blow those Marines apart very quickly if he takes a fight.
There was one Marine holding the Zelnaga watchtower with pride, but not bad for a single Marine. One of the tanks actually taking quite some damage from TY will get picked off. Where are the Vikings? He had actually a minor Viking advantage.
I mean, we're in that medevac phase. Yeah, it's tough. If you want to squeeze out Vikings and you lose any of your drops, things can get out of hand real fast. SCV gets another look at where the units in this army are, and he's just going to go straight across the map. This 4th base is under construction. That will be slammed down, and TY is going to push for the main.
It's a very, very ballsy move. Now, finally, we do get combat shield on the production tab. How much damage will TY be able to do before Byun does the same insane amount of damage on the other side of the map?
Well, the 3rd base has nothing here. An exposed armory as Byun makes his way back home. He's going to try to just focus down the natural expansion command center. Plenty of SCVs to kill here as well. The Marines on top of the 3rd. 2 tanks are going to siege, though. TY really needs to hold this base, and he will as the natural command center crumbles down.
Yeah, but all of his tanks were left behind, Nate. They were very exposed. Get in the medevacs
and run. Get in and run.
Couple more. Okay, at least the Marines make it out. He does end up losing all of his tanks, but you can still say that was a very good trade. He was down 30-40 supply when this started, and now he's up 20 supply. Obviously with a lot quicker reinforcements as well over here for TY. I like that he's trying. He's going to try to drop tanks over here. Yes, he does.
He's getting a position on that sieging, transforming planetary fortress. And the Marines have a weird time getting up this ramp, but the siege tanks are going to push that back. Having a little bit of Vikings here is really nice. Getting some of those medevacs, keep these tanks here. But how is TY going to try to capitalize on this? Just use the vision. Not a bad play. Gets one of those medevacs on the way out.
Very well done. The medevac on the south side avoided the 1 Marine, and it's going to unload these Marines, going to stim forward, and should be able to pick up 5, 6, 7 SCVs pretty and quickly here, or at least force all the SCVs to run away. So well done there by TY, finding a small opening and getting more than a handful of SCVs, Nate.
Yep, these tanks trying to come and defend, but a lot of workers do get sheared off of Byun's economy as he has been reeling since that first attack, but now the time has come for him to push back against TY, who has landed another drop inside of that base, exposing the engineering base and those supply depots. Is he just going to try to force his way up the ramp? There's so many siege tanks here for TY. Byun's going to go for it anyway. Command center lifts up. Marines trying to spread, but eating so much splash damage with a beautiful arc from TY, but there might just be too many Marines to be stopped. He's managed to get a large number of them inside of the main base, picking off the tech lab for the factory. If he knocks down the production, there'll be no way for Byun to rebuild.
I love that TY is flying a couple of tanks into his main. TY knows that he needs to keep these add-ons alive. It's so important that he keeps a couple of these reactors running because he needs production, and I think he's done it, Nate. I think he has stabilized and at least kept his main safe, which was the most important thing because he also has 3 upgrades on the way.
That's right, they're over halfway done. Byun picks off a few more of the tanks inside of the natural, and he's going to move in with the rest of his Marines, but all Byun needs to do is just save a few of these forces, get out of there. You've done a tremendous amount of damage, and we look at it, at the end of the day, Kev, supply's pretty damn close. Everything that he needs to win this game is right now being threatened as Byun moves into the natural once more, eating some tank shots, but the rest of TY's forces are coming in. 3-3 is going to finish during this fight, but is he going to need it? The Marines trying to spread out right now, just a few seconds to go.
TY knows that the clock is ticking. Not only does he not have 3 upgrades, he also doesn't have technically a 4th base, so it's 2 orbitals against 3. More scans, more mules for TY. If Byun wants to pick up this game, he needs to shut down the production, but he'll be able to.
TY shoot down this production line and make his way across the map. He is going to catch some of these forces out in the center, routing these back as he makes his way towards Byun's base.
And what is Byun gonna do? What is he gonna try to do? It seems like TY left enough units behind to keep his production safe just a little bit longer. A lot of Marines, a couple of tanks as well. One Orbital is very exposed, but Byun knows the longer this game will go on, the better it is for TY. One Orbital does get sniped though, and that's a pretty big pickoff.
And Byun's gonna be able to get on top of this expansion in the third base as well, while TY also kills Byun's third base. And TY with a nice amount of supply. He just needs to hold on as long as he can. This could end in just full base trade mode, trying to pick off the last few buildings that either player have left.
But the Marine count is in favor of TY, and the upgrades are in favor of him. Good micro there on the tanks. Every Marine counts now, as both players are starting to become incredibly broke. TY has one mining base. Byun has 0. Byun's going to go for it, but I don't think he has enough here.
He's going to push into it, but those upgraded Marines of TY are going to help push this army back. And TY is going to hold his base, as Byun is left with a few siege tanks inside. And another huge army, it looks like, for TY is going to push across the map. This command center. Bad day to fly over here. It's gonna maybe live to die later.
That's the last TC, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. GG. TY ties the series up 1-1.
Well, so far this is the best series of the day, if you ask me. I've been loving game 1 and game 2. Nate, game 3, we're loading into Apotheosis.
As that stage transforms into a derelict grassy plain, is the kind of guy to bust these builds out. It doesn't matter how big, how small the stage, he is not afraid to bring the heat straight to you.
Also CC on the low ground, that's absolutely what Byun was hoping for. TY realizes now what's going on.
You walk in and you realize something's not right here.
Nope, hoping he's like, there's something in the corner, right guys, right?
No, there's the cancel. He realizes things are about to get a little intense. That first Reaper comes in. If you're TY, the only thing you would want is only one micro mistake to get that first Reaper. Already SCV's equal. He realizes that he has a lot of work to do to survive in this game.
This one Reaper is incredibly important for TY. If you lose the Reaper, the game pretty much ends, which is why he's pulling the SCVs, and I do love this reaction so far. Yeah. Good micro by TY, good positioning, even more. Important
thing to keep in mind is that as Byun sends these SCVs in, he does not have as many workers mining. TY can afford to lose some SCVs. All he has to do is not die, but Byun's Reaper micro still very strong. He's got 1 week in the back. He needs to keep this one alive. We have another Marine and another Hellion coming out.
Wow, Byun losing a Reaper, that's kind of uncharacteristic, but at the same time, he does pick it off. Now it's 3 Reapers against a bunch of Marines. It's a very chaotic battle.
And those Marines do not regenerate, but the Hellion is out. He needs to focus fire down the weakened Reaper. He gets one very low with the grenades. So close to pushing him back. Still has the weakened Reaper alive as SCVs continue to die. More are going to be pulled off the line. Another Hellion very close, another Marine very close, but more Reapers keep piling in.
Yeah, one Reaper will fall, but there is just not that much left for TY. He's going to fall behind in the worker department as well. That starport is not going to finish up, Nate. It's 2 Reapers against a lot, 2 Hellions against a lot of Reapers.
And these Reapers can trade extremely well versus the Hellions. It's all about the line damage. There's still a few very weak Reapers. If he could just pick those off and repair the Hellions, we still have a chance here, but it's so difficult to get that position. A Viking on the way to try and help use it to push the Reapers back, but more grenades taking out more and more SCVs.
Yep, and still 3 Reapers at a time being produced for Byun. 10 SCVs have already gone down. Byun is ahead right now economically.
And his Hellions, but now the rest are going to come back in, and he needs to defend one more time here, but he's not quite in position yet.
Grenade madness. I mean, Viking does land, but there are so many Reapers over here for Byun. The Hellions just bouncing around like a pinball machine.
Yeah, that Viking got knocked straight back into the skies as soon as it landed, Roddy, and these Reapers are going to kill the rest of the Hellions, and with it, possibly TY's chances. GG! Byun takes this series, continues to heat up on the main stage.
Too many. Things can spiral out of control very quickly. TY has to be careful, though, with these Reapers being out of position. His Hellions are going to be very exposed. This could be catastrophic for TY.
I mean, this is where things can snowball so quickly out of control for the Terran. And he look at it, he cancels his tech lab. He's like, I need another Hellion immediately. The Reapers are still going to go across the map. So he's decided to just defend with the Hellions, with the Banshee. The question is, how much damage is he going to take before that Banshee comes out to clear away these units? It can't maneuver as fast. The Reaper comes in. One of them immediately picked off. The second one's barely going to get anything. He has to use the Banshee to clear him out, but he lost 6-7 SCVs so far, and one Reaper still remains in his main.
Very, very rough start here for TY. Not only does he end up losing 7 SCVs, his Reapers on the other side did nothing, and his tech is completely revealed.
He cancels his cloak too. So we have very low energy available. Once cloak is done with a Banshee on the map, I'm not really sure how he's supposed to deal with this.
Things are looking very, very grim right now for TY. He needs to make a miracle happen. He needs to somehow kill an insane amount of SCVs.
Wow.
And like just survive as long as he possibly can against the Cloak Banshee that's going to be out. But he has nothing at home, so he's going to lose so much at home as well, Nate. He has no eBay, he has no turrets.
He can't really do this. I mean, the Cyclones can try to bust down the buildings, but here comes the Banshee. The Vikings are going to trade out on the high ground as those Marines try to push these forces back. Banshee's still doing a really good job. TY is getting a lot done, but now there's the Banshee inside of his base. Cloak, GG! Byun will advance 3-1 over TY.
Thanks for watching and stay tuned for next videos.